was just in LA for a couple days recording a brand new video for my channel, and for some reason over that period of time, the NBA decided to explode with news, drama, announcements, and everything else you can imagine. So I just had to come on here and go over everything that happened because I feel like I missed so much. Starting off with the NBA All-Star starters being announced. Now, first things first, I want to say I don't know why people care so much about All-Star starters. I think the league has so much talent now that it's to the point where there is no way you could have an All-Star starting team without snubbing at least one player. But when it comes to scamming someone outside of an All-Star starting spot, Joel Embiid not getting a spot is insane. Now, I know this has been a lot of the talk, and I'm going to go over some other people who I genuinely think deserved it a lot too. But Joel Embiid is a player that we just can't skip over, and I genuinely wish that the NBA finally made the decision to turn it into a positionless team. Because let's go ahead and look at the Eastern All-Stars right here. We have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Giannis, Tatum, and Donovan Mitchell. Who in that starting lineup would you replace with Joel Embiid? In my personal opinion, I'd remove either Donovan Mitchell or Kyrie Irving, but you can't obviously because they lock you into having so many positions. It is just stupid. It is actually stupid. And I can't believe the league hasn't even said like, hey, we're planning on doing this next year because this has been an absolute scam. I don't even want to get started on All-Star fan voting. It is the most ridiculous bullshit I've ever seen in my life. And one of the reasons why it's so stupid is because Domantas Sabonis should have been an All-Star starter this year. If you go and take a look at the Western Conference starters, you have Stephen Curry, Luka Doncic, LeBron, Jokic, and Zion. Now, all those players, you know, understandable. They all really deserve that spot now. Now, Zion Williamson. Yes, Zion Williamson gets a spot over Domantas Sabonis. And I will say, if Anthony Davis was fully healthy the entire season, or I guess in this situation, you could say for like 29 games, he would get the spot. But because he's also injured, no one else should get that spot besides Sabonis. But because the league turned All-Star fan voting into just one big circle jerk for your team's biggest players, it just became stupid. It's really dumb. He doesn't get that spot. And now we have someone who has barely played any games in the season taking the spot. It's really dumb. Now, after going over the absolutely terrible starting lineup, I want to go over and give some loves to players who I think should be on the bench for the team, because at the end of the day, like I said, starters don't really matter. If you make the All-Star team, you're an All-Star. Same thing. It doesn't matter if you get picked last in the draft. You're still an All-Star. It doesn't matter. Where in the West, I have John Morant, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Damian Lillard, De'Aaron Fox, Lauri Markkanen, Domantas Sabonis, and I'll give the last spot to Paul George. If you're wondering where Anthony Davis is in this list, I am now starting a new movement where you can no longer make the All-Star team if you barely play any games in the season. I'm sorry, I'm not here with it. And if you think I'm just hating on Lakers fans, I'm not. I don't think Zion should be an All-Star in the first place. That may sound like a crazy take, but I personally take games played as a serious factor when it comes to being an All-Star. Same thing with the MVP race or any really big accolade like that. Now, going over to the East reserves, I have Joel Embiid, Jimmy Butler, Pascal Siakam, Bam Adebayo, Julius Randle, Jaylen Brown, James Harden, and Tyrese Halliburton. If there's any player that I'm somewhat skeptical about having on the list, I'd say it's Jimmy Butler. But other than that, it's pretty much a basic list. I just want to go over and give some love to those players. Also, I'm seeing some people say that Tyrese should have been a starter for the East. Lay off the crack. That is crazy. But you know what? All this All-Star news is kind of old news now because I was gone. There is new news to talk about, and that is the Jaren Jackson Jr. drama. Now, I just made a short and a TikTok about this recently, and I'm going to go over the entire situation right now. Pretty much, if you don't know what the Jaren Jackson Jr. drama is, there was a guy just yesterday that made a Reddit post talking about how he thinks that the Grizzlies scorekeeper is basically inflating Jaren Jackson Jr.'s stats and is making him seem like a way better defensive player at home than he really is. Now, if you just look at the stats alone, it looks really sketchy. Like, at first, I really thought this could have been a huge scandal, and especially after I made the video talking about NBA gambling and how big it's become, it really wouldn't surprise me if a scorekeeper or someone in charge of these really important statistics was in there flipping and skewing numbers to make maybe their odds that they have a bet on better. Turns out pretty much all this was speculation after many people going back and watching these clips, seeing that Jaren Jackson Jr. actually did get a block or did get a steal in certain situations that looked weird. So yeah, there was a very short period of time yesterday where the NBA just completely locked up and froze. Like, even betting apps closed all betting on the Defensive Player of the Year race because they didn't know if this was going to be real or not. Not to mention, it also came out that the Grizzlies scorekeeper didn't actually count the official stats. It was an actual team that works for the NBA that does the official stats. So it wouldn't even matter if he went through and changed all these stats. Crazy. But there is a new conspiracy surrounding the Jaren Jackson Jr. scandal. And it is, did the Grizzlies make this post? If you really think about it, it would make sense for the Grizzlies to make a fake post about a big drama surrounding a great player to bring a lot of attention to how good he's been defensively. I don't know, just a conspiracy? Let me know in the comments if that made sense or not. And just for some really recent news, the Lakers played the Celtics today because it is the NBA rival week, which, fun fact, by the way, this new rival week thing was actually the first video I ever posted on this channel. Pretty crazy. Anyways, LeBron went up for a game-winning layup and basically got whacked on the arm by Jason Tatum, and the refs proceeded to not call anything. This led to both LeBron freaking out on the court, which was the funniest shit to see ever, and then also Patrick Beverley walking out with a camera to the ref showing him the foul. Craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. Now, the Lakers ultimately ended up losing this game, but with that being said, my next video is going to be one of the biggest videos I've ever done, so I'd appreciate if you guys subscribe, turn on notifications so you know when it goes up, because it's gonna be huge. If you like these videos where I kind of sit and just talk about what's happening in the NBA, let me know down in the comments, because I really enjoy doing them. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.